knowledge. So here, Sambodhi is a dialogue, and dialogue of Bhagwan Mahavir himself with his prince disciple Muni Meg. Now Muni Meg, his mind is very clear, but still he is raising so many questions about ahimsa. And he asked, न भेतव्यम न भेतव्यम भीतो भूतेन गृह्यते किमर्थमुपदेश असौ भगवंस्त्वं विद्यते. Meg raised a question. O Lord, why did you say again and again not to fear? It is the cause that ghost sees those who are afraid. And really, if a person himself fearful, then everything create fear for him. Even darkness, even his own bhava, and even small things, small bugs, lizards, mosquitoes, and sometimes even rats. So, what is fear? Exactly, it is very difficult to pinpoint this is fear. This is fear is very difficult to pinpoint. For some person, oh my God, it is pandemic time and they are constantly fearful, as nowadays people are worrying, and sometime out of worry many people dies, and out of their mental imbalance and depression, oh, what will happen next, how the world will survive. Look, they are not thinking about themselves, they are thinking and worrying about the world. One thing. And if you think negative elements are coming. There is a Jain philosophical aspect about language, about thinking. Our language and thinking is based on material aggregates. So, whatever we think, we have to take. Suppose I say, ये आदमी बड़ा शैतान है. This baby is naughty baby. This baby is badmas baby. This person is not a good person. So what I think, I have to take that type of material aggregate. Bhasha Vargana. The technical term is Bhasha Vargana. Similarly, Chintan Vargana. What we think, we have to take Bhasha Vargana and Chintan Vargana from the universe. So for the fear, we have to take that type of Pudgala, material aggregates, and then inside our instrument, those pudgals are shaped and used as a thought process, and after thought process those same pudgals are used in our bhasha, in our language. And so thinking and language have very close connection. So very importantly, the fear is one aspect, and fear and ahimsa, abhay and ahimsa, fearlessness and ahimsa has close connection. When we see the sadhana time of Bhagavan Mahavir, and he knew that the path is not a simple path. There are so many hurdles, and during all hurdles, he kept himself in a balanced situation. So, very important not to be fearful. So, sometimes people always worrying about, oh, winter is approaching, and they suggest keep this thing near, keep a hot bag near, keep a hot blanket near, keep hot drinks near, and keep your room warm. These are, yeah, requirement of the country and the situation. But before the winter, if they getting worried, their instrument, their mechanism, physical mechanism, also that prone to get that type of things. So try to keep yourself positive, in positive affirmation and positive thinking, and that will is the way out. So when a person thinking a negative thought, then negativity slowly around him, and that negativity start appearing when we are so much careful about something. Oh, this new vase should not broke my hand. Then this new thing should not waste from me. And in that situation, it happened that people try to carry on the things, and suddenly that split out. Suddenly that glass broken, suddenly that cloth tear. Who was responsible and who made it happen? The person himself, because he started thinking negatively. Okay, I should be careful about keeping it. I should be attentive about it, mindful about it. That is positive affirmation. Oh, this should not break. This should not waste. This should not turn. And this should not lost. And I should not forget. It means you have taken little hole and something, some negativity peep in and make its way inside. So Meg said, "Oh Bhagwan, you ask not to be fearful, not at all, because even a person who is fearful, he cannot meditate, he cannot go in the deep path of meditation. Even in the penance, when we start penance, sometime in the first day, body is aching. When we start walking barefoot, when we became ascetic, and it was the first time, and walking 15 kilometer on foot journey, and there are some blister on the soul, and then someone started crying. But if you know that this could be there, then you are well prepared. You can use some ointment or relax your legs. But if you started fearful, and getting fearful is opening the door to the fear and opening the door to the negativity. So very, very important. Bhagavan Mahavir said, if you want to be a student or ascetic or a householder Shravak, you have to be fearless. And he has given so many aspects to dispel the fear. So Bhagavan said, Abhayam yati sansiddhi, ahimsa tatra siddhayati, ahimsa kopi bhitopi, netad bhutam bhavishyati. Bhagwan again proclaimed, where fearlessness is accomplished, ahimsa is accomplished naturally. So be fearless. It means you can ripen your feeling, your practice of ahimsa. Abhay and ahimsa are mostly connected. There was an interesting story, and the story was um, a Jain king, and once in a war, he lost his right eye. His eye was lost, and then many Vedya And many doctors, they came, they tried to treat it, but finally the rest part of eye, they pick it out and to save the life of king, because that part is already wounded and rotten. So they keep out whole eye, so it is like a hollow space. Then they say we have some option, and then they bring some deers, and the eyes of deer, they try to fit in the eye of king. So they measured, everything was prepared, and it should be instant. Like here in nowadays, organ donation. So in organ donation, someone write, and then that thing can preserved for a long time with the preservative and other instrument and deep cool situation. But at that time these situations were not available. So the deer was alive and in front of king, and when the Vedya tried to keep out his eyes, he hold him, and deer was so fearful, and he started crying, mourning, and groaning. And at that time, king had seen it. Then the king said, "Look, I can survive on my one eye. I don't want the eye of deer, because he also a living creature like me, and he is Panchendriya, and I'm human Panchendriya with reasoning mind. And I got the message and preaching of Bhagwan Mahavir. So today I decide I don't want any creature's eyes for my eyes." And then he said, "This is, if I make fearful him and I create violence for him, might this eye will not suitable to me. Who knows what happened? So for my pleasure, for my sukh, for my eyesight, I don't want to waste his eye." And then he relieved the deer. So, making someone fearful, it is really a great, great example of fearlessness for the others. If a one who is ahimsak, he don't want to make others painful in misery situation or fearful. And same thing, if we go back in the history of Bhagwan Neminath, he was engaged with Rajul, famously known as Rajimati. And Rajul was the princess, and Neminath Bhagwan was also prince. And he came with his barat, and when the barat reached nearby the um, mm, uh, nearby the palace, everything was arranged, and nearby the palace, a place where all arrangement made for the barat. And sometime the kings and Kshatriya kings in their kitchen was not pure vegetarian. So, in that situation, they arranged the feast, and in the feast, some non veg, and for the non veg, many birds and animals collected nearby. And these animals and the butcher was there, and the animals are fearful and they are crying, and their sound came in the Neminath Bhagwan's ears. And Bhagwan asked his uh, Sarthi, "Why so much animals and birds are here?" Then he said, "This is for the feast of your Bharat." And why they crying? Then look, they are crying because they are so fearful, because soon they are going to murdered and prepared, and then it would be a food for your barat. Then say, food for my barat? No, I don't want such a marriage. And then he asked his Sarthi, now move my elephant from there and go back to our kingdom. I don't want to marry. And when this happened, his father, his friends, everybody requested. Then he said, no, no, I don't want this hinsa for my life, for my marriage, for my pleasure. And he went back, and the whole story behind it, if you make other person fearful, and that is also hinsa, violence, to try to stop the violence, not to be fearful, not make others fearful. And Bhagavan Mahavir said, a fearless person can accomplish ahimsa, and ahimsa naturally accomplished by a fearless person. And then he explained bit more deep philosophical aspect of ahimsa with fearlessness. Yatha sahanavasthanam aloka tamasos tatha ahimsa bhayasyapi na sahanavasthitir bhavet. So here Bhagwan tried to explain the close connection of ahimsa and abhay, non-violence and fearlessness. So Bhagwan proclaimed non-violence and fear are as incompatible as are light and darkness. you know, Light and darkness never stay together. And the compatibility of non-violence and fear is very, very important. A fearful person is not to be a non-violent person. So here, when a person is fearful, he cannot go on the path of non-violence. It is incompatible. Something is compatible. They can work together. You see, in the today's electronic world, it is very important to be compatible. Some programs are compatible, some are not compatible. Some gadgets are compatible, some are not compatible. So, very importantly, that ahimsa and abhay are compatible. And if they are incompatible, light and darkness, that is again an important aspect. Once what happened, important story here, darkness went to Bhagavan. Oh Lord, I'm always fearful of light. Light never ever give me chance to stay. Then Bhagwan called the light, and who create light? Sun. So he invited sun and come. O sun, I got a complaint against you that darkness filed for you, that you are an enemy of darkness. You try to stop whole everywhere, each and every part of the earth. When you come, then darkness have to go. Then he say, I never seen my Lord. I never seen darkness. What type of darkness? and what it is, even I don't know. When I come, I see light everywhere. So I don't know. So similarly, if you see, when sun arise, the darkness dispel. Similarly, when non-violence arise, or when fearlessness arise, non-violence automatically come there. When sun arise, the darkness have to take a goodbye from the earth because the light arisen. So nobody is hurting nobody. But here, darkness is not compatible with light or with the sunlight. So similarly, Abhay and Ahimsa are compatible, but violence and fear, non-violence and fear are incompatible. So those who want to go on the path of non-violence, first step is fearlessness. Again, Bhagwan explain, yo no na apnoti bhayam mrityo न बिभेति तथा रुजः जरसो अनापवादेभ्य स एव शाद अहिंसकः. The person alone is non-violent, who is not afraid of death, disease, old age, and calamity. You know, this is again very important sutra from Bhagavan, that normally we afraid of death, but death is certain. If we aware about longevity, we have to follow certain rules and regulation, and mainly ahara suddhi. Those who are very much aware about their food intake, they can stay longer than those who are not aware about intake of food. Some person, they eat for tongue, for taste, but after chewing and glowing down, you know what is taste there? You have eaten something tasty, and after you finish, do you have that taste when the things are in your stomach, in your duodenum, in your intestine, or inside you? No, even we don't have. That taste is gone. Just we have memory, and that memory is there. That okay, this is very, oh, normally people are addicted, and they say, I want to eat pizza from that Pizza Hut, and idli and dosa from Ram's restaurant, and noodles from this and that and that. So normally people have a mental memory, and then again they repeat and again they eat the same thing. Some people have, okay, without chips I can't survive a day because I need some crunchy chips. But things which are fried or dried are not so much suitable for you, and things which are already ready made from the big food companies, they given dates of biscuits, chips, and other edible 1 year long, 2 years long. How they can stay? Can you think about that? You don't think, because you are in hurry, or you are addicted with the test, so you don't want to prepare, and even your life is so busy, so you don't want to walk an extra mile. So on and off every day, kids are having one small chips packet, one biscuit packet, one this packet. Okay, and then they say it is not fried, it is roasted. Samniji, you can use it is roasted. Yes, we agree. It is roasted, less dangerous, not fried. Okay, but whatever food is processed and prepared and added preservative, you don't know what type of slow poison they have. I remember fondly Acharya Tulsi and Acharya Mahapragya's dialogue once when they are near their 30s. They stopped eating fried food and eating sweets. Normally in Rajasthan, we Rajasthani people are sweet tooth people. So always we have sweet things, and if we don't have, then try to make zero or something. So they said our Rajasthani diet is much more high carbohydrate, high vasa, high protein, and high fat, and fried and things. So during their Jodhpur Chaturmas, they took this oath, and then Acharya Mahapragya said, if we would have been alert from the very beginning of our life, then our 30 years should not waste, and we should have a long life of 100 years. So we wasted our 30 years in the ignorance, but now we are aware, we are alert. And Acharya Mahapragya sometime in his lecture say, I forgot the taste of these things in my life, in my memory, what type of papad, what type of bhujia, what type of gulab jamun, mawa, maida, and processed food. He stopped, and therefore he worked in his life so much. Therefore, he got such a longevity, 90 years, and one can be 100 years, but life of full active life, full knowledgeable life, full life of paropakar, and life full of journey of 100 and 1,50,000 kilometer yatra. So such a tremendous work he can accomplish by his diet control. And by his diet control is his eyes are open towards his sadhana as well. So he controlled his diet, and with the diet control he controlled his emotion. And that's why I say I am fearless and I am angerless. So two important proclamation by him. And then again we see that how he engaged himself with yoga and meditation, and he revived the lost tradition of Jain meditation and yoga through his study and through his practical lab of his body. So he made 3 4 dimension of his life, and finally he proclaimed, where there is abhay, where there is ahimsa, there is longevity. I fondly recollect from Acharya Hemachandra. mm, Acharya Hemachandra wrote in Yoga Sastra, a person who is ahimsak, and he has beauty, Shri, pure Abha Mandal, pure aura, and he has pratishtha, and he is liked by each and every one because due to the purity of the aura. So ahimsak person can develop. If someone is fearful, you can see through his eyes, through his gesture and gesture, that he is fearful. And when one person is fearful, his body changed, but his internal chemical messengers, his hormone level also changed. And one who is fearful, he have sleepless nights, or he can't sleep like anything. Muni, Sadhvi, They don't have same place, same bed, same thing. Yes, they have their one small blanket with them, but always moving, always in journey. But they can sleep very well as soon they put their head and they go in the sleep, because they don't have worry about the next, and they are most fearless person. So in that condition, we see how Bhagavan Mahavir uh, make a connection of ahimsa and abhay. Then Mahavir explain यस्य आत्मनि परा प्रीतिः यः सत्यं तत्र पश्यति अस्तित्वं शाश्वतं जानान अभयम लभ्यते ध्रुवम. Bhagavan Mahavir said, one who love himself. Normally we say we love our house, we love our kids, we love our wife, we love our husband and parents. But we never say we love ourselves. And Bhagavan Mahavir said, Yasya Atmani Param Priti. He who seek solace in soul, he love himself. He see the truth only in the soul, knows the eternal existence of soul, certainly became fearlessness, certainly became fearless. And that person invite fearlessness, because normally people worrying, oh, old age is approaching, and what if our kids are not staying with us, and what if our body is not supporting us, what if our friends are not near by us, no near and dear close to us, and what happened when death comes. So all these fear again and again comes in mind. I can't say that I am totally fearless. So fearlessness is a grooming. We all binded with the closest connection with the body, because body is our house at the moment. Whatever happened, people try to save their life, their body, and if body is saved, things are saved. So Bhagavan Mahavir is saying something more deep and important. You love yourself, your soul, and soul is eternal. Soul is not going to die. Same thing proclaimed by Krishna in Gita. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya. Like the torn and old clothes are just left, and again new clothes are acquired and obtained and used. Similarly, our this lifespan is okay, it for 100 years or more than that, but it is not going to be forever. So it is just a station. Our train is going further, and then new station and new station. All four gatis are stations. Might be human being, might be subhuman being, heavenly being, or due to some bad karma, hellish beings. But this train is not going to stop until and unless we reach to the Panchami Gati, and that is known as motionless Gati. Gati, Siddha Gati, but it is beyond the four Gati, and that's why it is not said as a four Gati, it is a Gati. Agati means there is no motion, no movement at all, just stay and stability forever with your soul, with your quality of Atma. So, one who love himself is not fearful about old days. Yes, not fearful, but mind programming at Mahapragya and Acharya Tulsi did. The programming, they were not fearful about the old days, not fearful about anything. disease and death. And you see, always the both Mahatma, they were sitting, and sitting position, they got death. And just speaking, so you see, their death, I think a programmed death. And several times I heard that we don't want the death with um no sense, or we want alert death. I have heard from my ears that we welcome alert death, death which is totally in the knowing situation, in the knowledge situation. So that is very important, because innerly, after death, we have no connection of this world. So try to understand the existence of soul. The jiva is forever. The Traikalik, the jiva was in the past, and we have no memory. The jiva is here. Even we have no memory a week ago what we have taken in our breakfast. So the long, long memory is not possible. Even possible if you have Jati Smriti Yan. And if Jati Smriti Yan is continuous for the nine bhav of with the reasoning mind of the life, we can remember, but not so easy. Some people get it just spontaneously, and some people get it with their meditative practice, but it is not available to one and each. So in that condition, Bhagavan Mahavir given us that be aware about यह पश्यति आत्मानि atmanam, one who see the self through the self, sarvatma sadrisam nijam, every soul is like me, bhinna bhinna sad api bhinnam cha, bhinnam sad api, that soul is bhin from my existence, because we believe Jain philosophy has their gospel that each and every soul have their separate existence, but we are connected, abhinnam, bhinnam and abhinnam. So we have existence together, bhin and abhinna, and tasya tasya ahimsa siddhati. One who knows this philosophy, for them ahimsa is became a part and parcel of their life, so that men attain success in the practice of non-violence, who sees the soul with the soul, who consider all other souls are same despite of variance in their bodily form. They are different in their existential bodily form, but they, as a soul, they are one, and they are similar, as we know from the Thanang Sutra, Ega Manushya Jai. Whenever we have the sentiment of anger, animosity, or jealousy, at that time try to see that this sutra, all souls are one. Might be due to the karma, that soul is not in the right path, in the right mode or right situation due to the karma. But we are all souls, as I remember Tattvartha Sutra. Parasparopagraho Jivanam. All souls are rendering help to each other. We are interconnected. So, in that situation, if we are aware, we cannot do any harm to any life form. And again, Bhagavan Mahavir explained beautifully Mamatvam Raga Sambhutam Vastu Matresu Yad Bhavet Sa Hinsa Ashakti. रेव एष है जीवो असो बध्यते अनया. The thought that particular thing is mine, the feeling of mineness arises out of attachment. It is both violence and attachment. Very deep, Bhagwan Mahavir is going in the philosophy of ahimsa. Where there is attachment, there is hinsa. Sometime you see there is domestic violence, corporal violence, and people hurt each other. Sometimes husband hurts wife and wife hurts husband. Not verbally, even actually they hurt each other. Why? Why they hurt? Is there any example that some husband is a husband but he hurt his friend's wife? No. Or any other person? At no. The husband hurts wife, or either wife hurts husband. Less example, the wife hurts husband, but most husband hurts wife. And why this violence? Because they have attachment, and the attachment create a fear. If my wife does this, if wife this does, and then they hurt. Sometimes it start mentally, then verbally, then actually physically, corporal. So in that situation, what is element? Hidden element is raga, attachment, and all attachment change into aversion. राग, ये राग द्वेष का कारण है. Always attachment change into aversion. And we can see closely if you sit in meditation and think a contemplative meditation, how many times I annoyed with my wife, angry with my wife, and sometime out of anger hit my wife or harassed in some way. So this type of domestic violence is came out of mindness, my wife. And I have a picture of my wife, a nice picture. A lady always smiling, a lady always fit, a lady wearing nicely, a lady always peaceful, a lady what I like she cook, a lady keep house clean, a lady always for me. But is it possible? No, it is not possible. It is a dream world. It is a thinking. Because wife has same thing, my husband, and she has her picture and very nice color, very nice thought, and very nice expectation, high expectation, always loving husband, always nice, fit, calm, peaceful, helping hand, and always caring nature. This type of dream world of wife. And out of top of that, giving gift. That is medicine. So my husband given this, my husband given this. So these type of sentiments, I don't want to say for your family life you need all these things. You need gift, you need smile, you need good, everything you need. But it is not designed according to your desire, because it is your raga which made this. Okay, I need this, and this is my picture of husband, and this is my picture of my kids, even with kids. But each and every soul have their karmic baggage, their past lives. They are here. This is the life it stays. We all are player. So in that situation, what Bhagavan Mahavir said, the thought of particular thing is mindness arise out of attachment, and it is both violence and attachment. The soul get into bondage because that is minded by the attachment and aversion. So those who follow the path of ahimsa, ahimsa is not just merely killing. It is very deep, 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 and we need more time to understand ahimsa. We are lucky that this Sambodhi book is giving us such a deep insight, and Acharya Mahapragya explained it very deeply. And today, the lecture is the how we can obtain ahimsa with the flavor of abhay, because abhay, those who are fearful are not ahimsa. So Acharya Mahapragya suggested some asanas, because the physical chemistry, hormones can be changed with the yoga. And then Padmasana, Shashanka Asana, and Virasana is very, very important. And the Keval Kumbhak, in like last few months, we practiced Kumbhak with mantra in Navgrah Shanti meditation. Why Kumbhak? Suppose someone asked us a thing which is not interesting to us, we don't like, and then suddenly we start speaking. But in is stage of yoga and meditation, if we know kumbhak, if we hold our breath in the adverse situation, whatever happen, if we hold our breath, we can overcome that situation, because it is a meditation. You are not taking something outside, not even air. So you hold yourself, and one who know the holding, I think in my next lecture I will take some practical aspect of ahimsa, because merely listening and theory is not important alone. So when we know how we can be ahimsak and how we can over the hinsa in our life, then real practical Jain. To be a practical Jain, we need more practicality in our life. So I conclude here, and now floor is open for your question if you have any. Om Arha.
Vandami Naman Swami.
Yes.
Um, does one bring fear from their past karmas into their next life,
Yeah,
or the
yes.
so
Yeah,
even in
like
this life,
you,
like if you are very positive, you are fearless, then how can you avoid, or how, because you have to bear the fruits of karma, so how can you avoid it?
yes, but in the karma theory, as I mentioned previously in my previous few lectures, that karma is there. We cannot stop it, but we can change karma. We can change. Suppose one have an instinct of fear, and if they start meditating and doing some asanas, and then the situation of fearlessness occur. It is possible, because in the karma theory there is sankraman. Sankraman means the change, the karma, in negative karma into the positive. So that is also in our hand, but a 1%, 99% we can change, but 1% karma, which is nikachit, which is not possible to change. So in that situation, a person have to bear the fruit. But most of us are not trying practically. We know ahimsa, we know siddhant, we listen and we stop here. But this lecture is not just for listening. Somebody have lot more practical aspect. So, and practical thing how we can groom it, then we need contemplative meditation. जो चाहा वो बनना है तो हमको contemplation करना होगा. Contemplation के बिना you cannot change. Mere listening is knowledge, and to be is something practical.
Mm. Thank you.
And any other question?
Vandari,
Yes.
one of the things we do in life as a
Your sound
householder
is
is,
very low, Bansi Bhai.
is this better? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. One of the things we do as a householder is we do planning. So even the job, in personal life, everywhere we're doing planning. And planning to me seems to be linked to attachment,
No,
because
no, voice is down again.
planning to me seems like it's linked to attachment. So can you actually do planning without attachment? Because you're always thinking, oh, okay, I've got so much money, and now if this happens, then I need to plan for this, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's always about some asset you have, and you're planning for its survival, for your life, for your future, whatever it is. But you're always thinking of various scenarios. If this happens, I'll need to do the X, Y, Z. Now, the underlying cause always is attachment to me. So, is it possible to do planning without attachment?
You know, being a householder, planning is very, very important.
Yeah.
But you see, try to see and try to discriminate. Planning, if you do planning out of fear, that create more hazard. So you do planning, but not to be fearful. Yeah, you have assets, you have managed so many things, even everything. To be a householder, people plan, people gather, people collect things. Now, like Corona, so people bring so much food, even food stock at home. They are worrying, okay, might we cannot get this, might rice is going away from, or atta is not available in the market, or this such things. And long term planning, yes, planning is very important in the life of Acharya Mahapragya. He said, I planned every decade of my life, what I want to be in this decade. And he planned and he succeed. So nicely plan it, peacefully. Whenever you do such planning, sit in meditation for a while, and then do the long rhythmic breathing meditation, stable things, mind and body, and with the harmony. Then you start planning, and that planning is always superb planning, and hopefully you stick to follow that plan. So planning is not bad. In his autobiography, he wrote, in my first decade, I was not so aware about the things, but I was a good student. I spent my time in study. But then at the age of 20, I thought, oh my God, I am a monk and what I shall do. And then I lived with planning the second, third decade, the fourth decade. And you see, it is really tremendous journey. So planning is not out of fear. Planning with balance, with harmony, and planning with firm determination.
Oh, madam.
Yeah. So these days are very important days, and yesterday we had very good session. People joined us in JAP at 8:30 to 9:15, and again today we have two JAP session. One JAP session for India. In JVB's plan, you can see that JAP. So nearby 2 o'clock, job for Indian Standard Time 7 o'clock, and then 45-minute or 48-minute one Samik Jap. So those who are at home, they can take dual benefit because this time is rare time. And I also ask you one and all, please be a agent of this spiritual activity. प्लीज खुद जागो, दूसरों को जगाओ, क्योंकि यह भी आपको एक स्पिरिचुअल एजेंसी है, तो दूसरे लोग भी इस समय जाप कर सकें। और कहीं कहीं लोग ऐसे बिजी हैं तो एटलीस्ट वो अपने घर में भी जाप को ओपन करके रखते हैं, तो वह भी बहुत फ्रूटफुल होगा, यूजफुल होगा, क्योंकि साउंड वाइब्रेशन ऑफ जाप इज एवरीवेयर इन देयर होम। Might they are busy, so downstairs they keep it open or upstairs they keep it open if they are busy. But if they are easy and have some time, then not to miss this job opportunity. And also please forward through your contact other continents, Africa, America, London, Dubai, or New Zealand, Australia. People can get benefit what JVB London Gen World Peace Center is doing, because it is like a rainfall and it is for everybody. We are not only for London, we are for everybody. So please, please, just forward what message you get from Shubham on JVB group. So please forward so everybody get benefit out of it. Om Arham.
वंदामि नमन स्वामी।
मंगल पाठ, जुड़े हुए हाथ, आंखें कोमलता से बंद, संकल्प करें पूरा दिन मंगलमय, शांतिमय, साधनामय रहे। चत्तारि मंगलम, अरहंता मंगलम, सिद्धा मंगलम, साहु मंगलम, केवली पन्नतो धम्मो मंगलम। चत्तारि लोगुत्तमा, अरहंता लोगुत्तमा, सिद्धा लोगुत्तमा, साहु लोगुत्तमा, केवली पन्नतो धम्मो लोगुत्तमो। चत्तारि शरणं पवज्जामि, अरहन्ते शरणं पवज्जामि, सिद्धे शरणं पवज्जामि, साहु शरणं पवज्जामि, केवलपन्नतं धम्मं शरणं पवज्जामि। धम्मो मंगलमुक्किट्ठम्, अहिंसा संयमोतो, देवावितं नमं सन्ति, जस्स धम्मे सयामणो, चैत्ता भारहं वासं, चक्रवर्ती महिढ्यो, सन्ति सन्ति करे लोये, पत्तो गई मणुत्तरम, देव दानव गंधर्वा, जख रक्षस किन्नरा, बंभयारिं नमं सन्ति, करम जे करेन्ति तम। मंगलम भगवान वीरो, मंगलम गौतमो गणी, मंगलम स्थूलि भद्राद्या, जैन धर्मोस्तु मंगलम। मंगलम मतिमान भिक्षु, मंगलम भार मल्लक, मंगलम राय चंद्राद्या, मंगलम तुलसी गुरु महाप्रज्ञोस्तु मंगलम, महाश्रमणोस्तु मंगलम। विघ्न हरण मंगल करणे, स्वाम भिक्षुनो नाम, गुणियों लख समरण किया, सरे अचिंत्या काम, सरे अचिंत्या काम। अंगूठे अमृत बसे लाब्धि तना भंडार, श्री गुरु गौतम समरिए, मन वांछित फल दातार, मन वांछित फल दातार। सिद्ध साधु प्रणमी करी, ऋषभादिक 24, सिद्ध साधु प्रणमी करी, ऋषभादिक 24, स्तवना करूं प्रमोद धरी, जय जस कर
Right.
जगदीश, जय जस कर जगदीश। आज के लिए धारणा प्रमाणे कोई भी एक त्याग करेंगे। ओम अरहम, ओम अरहम।